My name is Retro Man. My superpower is attacking with more flash than substance. I want to join the Seven, the elite heroes of the town that's going to protect it from injustice. What? Oh, hold on. Hello? Yes? I made it. I'm a part of the Seven? This is awesome. Yeah. I gotta do what? The Boys is a TV series produced by the up-and-coming TV streaming service, Amazon Prime, and this is a pleasant surprise beyond my wildest imagination. Let's get into this thing. Well, first, let me thank Seth Rogen real quick. Seth Rogen is behind the scenes being a part of the brain trust of some of TV's most interesting productions, namely Preacher, well, mostly Preacher. But when you follow up Preacher with something like this, hey, the dude is behind the scenes and he kind of has a clue of the things that the public don't know that they want so bad. The Boys comes from a comic book of the same name, and let me tell you, this shit is dark. If you're familiar with this at all, you know that this thing is not for the weak heart. Hell, it's actually for the dark-hearted, the black-hearted, whatever you choose, because this is some dark content. I think that the show did a really good job adapting this thing to the small screen. This thing is really digestible, and it gives you some way, somehow, to root for a lot of the heroes or anti-heroes that you see presented in this show. It was one of my favorite things about it. You can kind of pick and choose who you wanted to root for. And I never went through anything like that. And I mean on both teams. You'd end up with favorites. You couldn't help yourself because they always left you with the conflict. They always brought you in on what kind of conflict, inner conflict, that a lot of the characters were going through as they went through their arcs. And their arcs went all over the place, from trying to save themselves, to trying to save the world, to trying to take over the world, to trying to profit off the world. It was a fascinating thing to see. This show kind of had me at gunpoint when I heard Carl Urban was getting the leading role in this one. I love this dude. I love the way he delivers everything that he does, and it's just something about him that's believable. Every character that he plays is angry. Even the ones that's kind of decent characters, they're still angry. Some people are born to play these angry characters who are angry at their core. Their whole disposition is anger, and you just buy into it, and you just root for this dude, especially knowing his story in this one. And it's a doozy of a story. Performances really wasn't a problem across the board, and I thought that was really surprising. This thing is really a parody. It's an alternate universe. When you look at it, it's really hard to take serious, but it's also really hard to turn off. And I thought that was interesting. It kind of shined through when you look at the reception through critics and audiences and how they saw this thing. And when was it fun? When was it inconsistent? And when it was just too damn dark for consumption. But it's never too damn dark, you know. You kind of want too damn dark sometimes. So yeah, if you can't see the context clues, this show is kind of fucked up. I mean, when you talk about a Justice League, essentially, and how corrupt they can be, and when are they righteous? When is it justice? When are they right? When are they wrong? All while being pursued by other people who are technically anti-heroes, but the way they shoot the story, they're not. There are heroes. I love this type of shit. I live for this type of shit. And for once, I can kind of say I'm a nerd and say, fuck it. Yeah, this is embracing my inner nerd. But it's funny. I say nerd, but this is really not for nerds. This is like the guy TV show of guy TV shows. When you see some of the deaths and some of the horrors that's going on in this show, you would not believe the shit that's going on in this show. And you know that a part of you just knows that it's just a savage beast inside of you who's just, you know, eating popcorn with their feet up. Big shout outs to Anthony Starr, my guy. You really surprised me. I mean, you really gave me a character I could legitimately hate. It's really hard to hate a character. And you know why you hate his character so much? Because you kind of fucking fear his character. And it's nothing better than a character you fear. Also, a quick shout out to Jesse T. Usher. After I seen him in Shaft, I was like, fuck this kid. This dude is just too cheesy for anything. But they made the perfect character for him, and I was actually sold on him. Good job, y'all. Good job. But I won't lie. It's not all roses when it comes to this story. It's actually a bunch of inconsistencies and plot holes. It's actually a bunch of shit that just flat out don't make sense. But you're so charmed by the show, and you're just so in love with this universe. And it's just funny because the timing couldn't be better. This is the age of the superhero genre, honestly. I mean, we could say that the glory days was back in the 70s and 80s when comic books was roaring, but no. Those shits is making billions after billions. I mean, Spider-Man just crossed $1 billion. Like, it's just insane how this is the superhero era. And it's always just worship of them. And for somebody to take that and twist it and turn it on its head and put all of these implications that make you, you know, think about a lot of the nuances of celebrity that we deal with now. And it's fucking fascinating. But you're so enamored with that you end up ignoring a lot of inconsistencies with the story. Now, that's cool with the audience, but it's not always cool with the critics. With critics, story is king. But here you got a show that has good writing, fun writing, it's funny, it's fucked up, it's honest, it's brutally honest. It's everything that you would need if you're really looking for a refreshment from all of the superhero fatigue that's going on with Marvel and Disney and their fucking tyrannical reign over Hollywood. So when we go to the critical response, we see that the critics gave this thing a 77%. Not bad. While the audience gave it a whopping 93%, and I understand both sides perfectly. Now, I gotta go ahead and side with the critics. This thing is a lot closer to a 77, probably like a 80% of a project, but that's really impressive based on what this is. I mean, this shit is no holds bar, and that don't go over well with a lot of audiences and demographics. But this one's able to hit on all of those. But I really don't blame the audience for the 93%. This thing is a thrill ride, and it never lets you off until it ends. Can't wait for season 2. And it's going to be interesting because they took some liberties from the comics and they took some huge liberties with the comics, changing some things to make this thing more digestible, make this thing have more longevity. Can't wait to see how it play out. Hey, if you want to have a good time, this is highly recommended, but it's not for the weak-hearted. Hey, take a shot at it. The Boys, it's a good one. My name is Terrell. This has been a Better Late review on the Boys TV series. You can check me out at Novelty Movies on Podbean to check out my podcast where I'll talk about all these things in depth. I will have a spoiler-filled review at the end of my next podcast, talk about these things in depth. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next one.